I got a few requests to do evidence for Christianity, starting from atheism to theism. The question of whether it is the God of the Bible is something I'll cover in a different video. So today I'm going to be using the cosmological argument for my points, and we'll go through that step by step. And the cosmological argument is actually pretty easy. It goes something like this. We know the universe came into existence, space, time, and matter all exploded into existence at some point in the past. So we have to go, if the universe had a beginning, it must have had a cause. A very common argument against that is that, well, what if the universe didn't have a beginning? What if the universe has always been and is eternal? I think Stephen Hawking suggested that idea at some point in his life. He did go back on it later after he saw that certain calculations didn't add up, but it's a valid question. What if the universe is eternal? Then it doesn't need a cause. So try and count from 1 to 2 using every single decimal in existence. You can never count to 2 if you're using every single decimal. And the answer to that is, let's say for the moment the universe was eternal, which means that there's an infinite number of days behind us and there's an infinite number of days in front of us. Then logically speaking, we never could have arrived at today. We obviously can't have an infinite universe. Also, the second law of thermodynamics, one of the things that it states is that the universe has a fixed amount of energy in it and that the energy is slowly depleting. So again, if the universe was eternal, that energy would have depleted by now. If you had a car and you filled it up with gas, it now has a fixed amount of gas in the tank. And if you started that car an infinite number of days in the past, it would have run out of gas before it hit today, right? So the second law of thermodynamics is another reason we can look at the idea of an infinite universe and say that that can't be the case. Moving on to point number 2, so we know that the universe had a beginning, which means it must have had a cause. So if we know that space, time, and matter exploded into existence at some point in the past, we have to know that whatever caused the universe to exist must be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. For example, if wood never existed, we can't expect the thing that created wood to be made of wood, right? It can't be bound by the things that it's creating. But whatever this thing is that caused the universe to explode into existence must exist outside of space, outside of time, and outside of matter. We also know that a force that can create the entire universe out of nothing, exploding into everything we have, that power must be infinite. It must be infinitely powerful to be able to create everything in the universe. So we know that whatever this entity is spaceless, timeless, immaterial, and infinitely powerful, and it must be infinitely intelligent as well. Why do we know it has to be infinitely intelligent? We actually have to look at the fine-tuning of the universe and see how everything in this universe comes together in such a perfect way that if it wasn't designed the way it is, the universe never could have existed. A really good example of that is upon the Big Bang. If you look at that and you look at the expansion rate of the universe, if you changed gravity by 0.000, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys want to fact check me, I think it's 700,000 zeros, 1%. If you change gravity by that much, the universe would have imploded on itself and never would have expanded to what we have today. We can look at the fine-tuning of this Earth, how the oxygen level is so perfect for human existence. We look at the tilt of the Earth, how it's perfect so that way the Earth isn't heating up too much to not allow life to exist. We can see the fine-tuning of the universe work perfectly together with the idea that we have an infinitely intelligent thing, entity, or being that created the universe to make it the way it is. And a common argument against that is the multiple universe theory, that this is one of an infinite number of universes, and this just happens to be the one universe where everything appears to be fine-tuned to make it look like there was a creator. And that would be a really great argument. I would actually agree that, that seems to be a pretty interesting argument. I'd be willing to consider that. The only problem is that now we have an issue. We have no evidence that there's multiple universes. There's zero evidence. In fact, you look at even the scientists that propose the multiple universe theory admit that there is no evidence to support this theory, and that's all it is. It's a theory. In addition to that, saying that this universe is the only universe that is fine-tuned in the way out of an infinite number, you haven't actually eliminated the need for a God. You've actually multiplied your need for a God. Because as we know, if space, time, and matter all came into existence, we now need something that could have created an infinite number of universes. And that maybe it wanted to create this one to be fine-tuned to support human life. So you actually haven't gotten rid of the need for a God with the multiple universe theory, even though there's no evidence for it. So we know that this being that is spaceless, timeless, immaterial, infinitely powerful, and infinitely knowledgeable, it now has to be personal. And you're going, well, how can this thing be personal? You can't know that this, whatever it is personal. Well, I can. Because a blind force, an infinite power can't choose to do something. There has to have been a choice to turn nothing into something. A force just doesn't do that. You need a personal being to make the choice, the decision to create something out of nothing. So we know that this infinite being is personal, and to me it's sounding a lot more like a god to me, maybe even the God of the Bible, but we haven't proved that yet. But it sounds more like theism to me than atheism. So if we just look at the cosmological argument, bringing it all together, that everything that had a beginning had a cause. The universe had a beginning, so therefore the universe must have had a cause. And I believe that through the evidence that I presented, that that cause is God. And I can go into if it's the God of the Bible in a later video, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and let me know what you want me to do for my next video. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Something I forgot to mention before, if you want to get any of the information or find out where I got some of these facts from, you can read the book I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist and Cold Case Christianity. They both have really good references there. Also, you could log on to the Cross-Examined website. That's Cross-Examined with a D at the end. And they'll have a lot of great resources for you to jump deeper into some of these big questions about the Bible and about Christianity. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you guys want me to do next.